Today here on Blue Shift Ministries, we're going to talk about Gilgamesh. I want to go deeper into the story. And the reason I want to go deeper into the story is because there is much we can learn about the Gilgamesh, who has very heavy, deep bloodline roots to the Anunnaki. Gilgamesh was 1 part human and 3 part divine. His father was Anu, one of the evil gods from the second heaven, an Anunnaki god from the second heaven. It's not too much known about his mother. There's speculation, was she an Anunnaki or was she part of the human race? It is known that Gilgamesh had an ancestry in the Antediluvian period, before pre-flood time, of the time of Noah. He had an obsession for immortality. He was an Assyrian. He was also a homosexual. He had a homosexual relationship with Enkidu, who was created by the Anunnaki to soften his heart, because he was just he was a man of brutality. He was also a giant. If you could imagine a giant with his head peeking over the size of a football stadium, that's pretty big. He was from the Valley of Ur. When his relationship started with Enkidu, Ishtar, who is his sister, became very jealous. She wanted to marry Gilgamesh, but Gilgamesh said no. He just refused her. As a result, Ishtar planned the death of Enkidu, and she succeeded. She killed him. There is much speculation that due to Enkidu's death, Gilgamesh became completely obsessed with immortality. It really hit him hard. It broke him. So he went on a pilgrimage to find the Garden of Eden, to find a sacred flower that he learned from an entity within the garden, that a certain flower was in the ocean, deep in the ocean, that granted immortality. Now, that part, was that in Anunnaki dimension? That's just something to think about. He was able to acquire the fire. He was able to acquire the flower, but something happened. He seemed to have fallen asleep and a snake ate it. Seems that the devil was watching him. It seems people who are obsessed with immortality, the devil makes a fool out of that person. You would notice that. We have to be very careful with obsession. We have to be very careful with relationships. We have to be very careful with our desires, our secret desires. And that is what I feel we should take away from the Gilgamesh story. The Anunnaki are a very intelligent, evil race of demons from the second heaven. They are extremely manipulative and extremely coerce. They like to coerce certain things. They always like to keep things in a shroud of mystery. They always like to keep people guessing. They always like to keep people in many different directions. And that just sounds like Lucifer. I just described him. That's what he is. That's what he influenced. Gilgamesh dominated Assyria, Babylon, Ur, Lebanon, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the Middle East. He really was able to span himself out. It's more than likely, just like Moloch and Baal, he left his impression everywhere he went. And we have to be careful with first impressions. We have to be careful because first impressions, many people say, oh, hey, always give a good first impression. That's a little bit of a fiction, because anyone could be telling you a whopper of a lie and people will be so foolish to believe it. The bottom line about the Gilgamesh story, when you become obsessed in a relationship or with anything, it leads you straight to hell. Obsession is the devil's dungeon. Obsession makes you insane and have you start believing in things that are not true. We as children of God have to be very careful with obsession. And that's what Lucifer wants to do to the children of God. He wants us obsessed because he has an obsession for us. And he'll come up with any story to make you obsessed with him. Believe in Jesus always. Amen.